you know, like things outside of ourselves, and so we see the others as different, and we see this earth as an other to us. And we even see our own heart sometimes as an other. So we've lost this real unified connection, which really, when we come into our deepest heart in silence and in prayer or in meditation, and we start to actually understand that there is no other, that this is us, you know, that we are completely and profoundly interwoven in a web of life, and that web of life is extremely sacred, and that we have sort of diminished that sacredness in life by our plundering not only of the earth, but also the soullessness of our own heart that has been ripped out of this sense of belonging in the web of life and a sense of placement. And to compensate for that wound, this really profound wound, this endless sense of having to consume and having to keep going, and, you know, to consume at the level that we are. If all the people on the world, 7 billion or so, did that, we'd need at least 6 planets to support that. We cannot continue in the way that we're doing and hope to survive, you know, at all. And so we have this crisis, and any crisis, whether it's in a personal life or collectively, is also an opportunity. It's an opportunity to profoundly awaken and to grow in ways that we don't even know how we can grow. And I think that one of the ways that we can really grow and commit to is to really check in our own minds every time that we other ourselves or other people or the planet, and we see things as disposable, or people don't matter, or they're over there somehow, or even in our own bodies and our own feelings, to try and hold, instead of doing that, to try and resist that process of the mind. Instead, try and hold the sense of ourselves, our world, each other in a more complete awareness. So that in that awareness, as we become more aware and we hold the totality in our heart, then we actually really reclaiming the sacred and beginning to diminish this great wound that keeps us consuming and keeps us just rubbishing the world around us. I think also that, and when we, you know, one of the things that is really powerful that we can do immediately is, and personally, is to really shift our diet. And when Anne mentioned, or it's here in the Unitarian Church, less meat, less meat, this is something that when we think of 51% of the gases that are warming our planet are to do with the modern ways that we farm, not only the farming of animals, but also the decimation of rainforests and the feeding of grains through animals that could actually help to support the alleviation of starvation and hunger. But actually this is also extremely and utterly cruel and devastating how we do this now. And we do it in this way as if animals have no rights, they have no feelings, that they have no sacredness. And I think this is, as human beings, we don't have the right to treat animals and the earth in the way that we're doing. So part of what we have to do is, you know, to make these shifts, is like really seriously think about how we can make these shifts in our own life, to move towards a plant-based diet, for example, to consider how we can consume less, to consider how we can share more, how we can live in a more open and free way, and how we can live in a more humble way. As human beings, we've become so arrogant. We think that we can just control this earth and, you know, own everything right down to the last patent seed of grass, you know, that we can control the life of seeds and control the oceans, and we cannot without destroying everything in ourselves. So we have to make a journey of great humility, and I think this is a spiritual journey, and this is the place where faith can support activism. Any successful activism, whether it's anti-apartheid, whether it's civil rights, whether it's Gandhi Satyagraha, whether it's solidarity in Poland, all of them have been successful because they've had the energy of faith and prayer and the sacred, and that gives durability, that gives strength, and that surely will overcome our greed and our heedlessness. So let us all, in whatever ways we can, not only personally but collectively, be willing to speak out, to stand up, to challenge the ways that we're living, to lobby politicians. They are the servants of the people, and yet they've become servants to the billionaires and the 1%. This is no longer acceptable, that we have to stand up and say this is not acceptable, and to realize that we have a power as a people, as we stand up and challenge the systems that would destroy us, that this humanity that we carry will have the power to eventually overcome. And I do have great hope, in spite of it being 1 second to midnight, that we will rise up, and that this truly sacred, spiritual, profound human capacity that we have will come and emerge as we awaken, express itself through all of us, personally, individually, collectively, through our faiths, and that we will be able to perhaps, hopefully, birth a really new way of being. And even in the midst of great devastations that surely we must undergo, that we will be able to meet that with resilience and love and care. Thank you.